NFL Battle of New York. Jackson Dart continued to impress in his second preseason outing. Dart capped a 71-yard second-half opening drive with a touchdown and scored on a goal line sneak to finish another after completing 13 consecutive passes. In Dart's last two outings, he is 26 for 35, 291 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and 0 picks. Mike T, I want to come to you first. Should Russell be the starter week 1 after hearing all of what Jackson Dart did in the preseason?
Amina, absolutely not. This is Jackson Dart's team. First of all, let's start with Russell Wilson, who'll be 37. Take good notes here, Stephen A. He's going to be 37 in November. Last year, he was sacked at a rate 31% above the league average, despite Pittsburgh having an excellent offensive line. So you know that Russell Wilson, who has had a good career, is on the back end. As it relates to Jackson Dart, and Dan and I actually agree on this, he's a great athlete. He rushed over 1,900 yards in college. He is not given the credit for his athleticism. And when you look at the right side of the line, that's going to be an issue. Jackson Dart played with great urgency, accuracy, anticipation. You watch his feet, it's really a flawless performance. When you speak to the Giant organization, as good as he's been on the field, his intangibles about leadership off the field have been better than they expected. Give him the job from day one and don't look back.
I feel like Stephen A. is itching to talk about it, but I'll get to you in a second. Dan, I'll let
I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let Dan. I ain't going to let nobody get in my way. Go ahead. Y'all speak. Go ahead.
I don't start Jackson Dart right away. I'm trying to go the season and not starting him. This should be Russell's job. Jackson's been everything that kind of I thought he would be coming out of school. This is why I thought he'd be a top 10 pick. I see a lot of the things the Giants are doing with him, very similar to what the Commanders did last year with Jaden Daniels, taking a lot of the things, scheme, spread out, no huddle, tempo, and the things that he did at Ole Miss and bringing it to the NFL, which has been great. He's been awesome, 13 straight completions. There's so much he still has to learn. And I look at it in the same way that I looked at when Dable had his first year there and they shocked everybody and went to the playoffs. It expedited the expectations, and all of a sudden this complete rebuild was like, okay, we're going to pay all these people. And then there was that step back. Giants, be long-term centric. Be long-term centric. Russell's going to be good enough to keep them in games with that defense. We don't have to rush Jackson Dart on the field. We don't have to expedite his development. I'm not saying at some point, but I just would not get him on the field before maybe the time of the owner coming and say, now it's time of the general manager. You're in a good situation. Don't ruin it.
Jackson Dart has played great this preseason, and he's going to start in time. In time. But people aren't talking about how well Russell Wilson has played this preseason. He has looked strong. Yeah. He has looked challenged. He has looked like he's got something to prove himself. He's not the only quarterback who may go to the Hall of Fame one day, who's bounced around, who wants to show that he's got something.
Hall of Fame?
Russell Wilson, yeah. Could be.
I don't disagree. He's a fringe Hall of Fame guy. I agree.
Could be.
I mean, if we let Matt Stafford, I guess, you know.
Could be. Could be. Anyway, Russell Wilson's played well enough, and the Giants' plan is to start Russell Wilson. Now, what Jackson Dart has done this summer is every time that Russell Wilson struggles or they lose a game, Jackson Dart's name is going to come up in every conversation because he has looked great this summer, and he is going to start eventually. But it doesn't look like it's going to be at the start of the season.
Good.
Stephen A., what you got?
I was distracted by Mike T's drivel. It made no sense to me.
You mean fast,
Jackson
accurate,
Dart,
juice, athletic?
Well, excuse me. You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one with facts. I got them too.
Yeah.
I got 3 losses last year. I got that. Kentucky, LSU, Florida. 3 SEC games. Let's not forget that because that's very, very important to mention. I also looked at the 69% completion percentage that he had in throwing for more than 4,000 yards last year, 29 touchdowns. I forgot whether it was about 6 interceptions or so, something like that, right? But I also noticed in those 3 losses, that 69% completion percentage dipped below 60 in each of those games. I remember that too. How you like those facts? So now we get to the preseason of the National Football League. And we're looking at Russell Wilson, who is a veteran. We're looking at him playing pretty damn well. We saw that deep throw to Bo Collins the other day. The brother looked, that was Dan Orlovsky. I think I saw you talking about that this morning on Get Up, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir.
That was more than 60 yards in the air.
Yes.
That was more than 60 yards in the air. Now, I am not blind to the fact that Russell Wilson was 6-6 in his last 12 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers, just a 500 record. I'm not lost to the fact that over the last 4 years, Russell Wilson is 23-33 as a starter. I get all of that part. So he's on the downside of his career. We respect that. But he's a veteran. He knows how to be steady. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to not beat himself, which the Giants could easily argue have done it time and time again. And then, Mike T, you're not really taking the Giants organization into consideration. You haven't batted 1,000. Matter of fact, your sorry asses haven't batted 500. The reality is that what you don't want to do is take a situation and preempt everything by throwing this dude in the line of fire either before he's ready or before they're ready. You might want to wait a little bit. So Adam Schefter's absolutely right when he points to, yeah, he's going to start. But it doesn't have to be week 1 because you could throw him into the line of fire and it doesn't work out for whatever reason because it's the Giants, okay? Which, by the way, since winning the Super Bowl is arguably the worst franchise in football. I don't know if y'all want to touch that or not, but it's the truth, okay? It's the truth. Since 2011, look at the New York Giants. All right, even the Jacksonville Jaguars went to an AFC Championship game back in 2017. We can't say that about the New York Giants. Matter of fact, their level of ineptitude had people looking twice at Eli Manning being a Hall of Famer, even though we all know he's going in. The point is, that's the reality. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, you can't rush it. You can't push it. If Jackson Dart is that dude now, he'll be that dude in week 3. Week 5, week 7. There's no reason to rush it, especially when you're the New York Giants and you got to do everything in your power to get something right. Neighbors was right. I get that. Abdul Carter, even though he just got squashed, he's right. But in terms of the quarterback position, my God, they got to get that right.
Mike, I think that's a good point. I feel like you're going to have time, though, for Jackson Dart to really develop as a quarterback, especially because the Giants really, nobody sees them at least winning the Super Bowl
Preach,
this year.
girl.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's all fair. But one of the many lessons that Coach Parcells taught me was one of the underrated aspects of team building is to correctly evaluate your outdoor meeting. How good are the players when they leave your program? Mike Tomlin is a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. If Mike Tomlin is moving on from Russell Wilson, that tells me something, because when you look at their quarterback situation, they're going with a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. So to me, if Russell Wilson had more ability or had a couple years left, I think Pittsburgh would have kept him. And by the way, Russell Wilson made that great long throw that you and Adam talked about. He also did have an interception. So all I'm saying is I'd rather go with a young, ascending Jackson Dart who will quickly eclipse an aging Russell Wilson.
Eventually, like a few weeks later. And by the way, did Bill Parcells teach you how to give a controversial quote? Because that's a class you failed. Did he tell you how to give a controversial quote? Did he do that?
I don't think so.
No, he did not. He forgot that.
We would never hear Mike T. We would never hear Mike T be asked about a wide receiver, and Mike T says, she's okay. That's exactly what Bill Parcells said about Terry Glenn. She's okay. That would never come out of Mike T's mouth.
This is simple. The best thing for the New York Giants long term is for Jackson Dart to be a great quarterback. The best way for Jackson Dart to become a great NFL quarterback is with Brian Daboll as his coach. The best way for Brian Daboll to remain coach of the New York Giants is to compete. I agree. And the best way to do that is with Russell Wilson as the starting quarterback to start the season.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, I think that just makes sense.
Dan,
you want at least for long term. Go ahead, Stephen A.
The only thing you did wrong, Dan, was not go through your head like that when you said.
Well, wait a minute. I've never seen Dan do that.
He did it at the beginning of the show, Amina.
He just makes it up.
I've never seen you do that.
Thank you, Amina. I'll do it again.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Shefty, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. I appreciate it.
Adam, you and I can't do that.
Appreciate you, Shefty. Thank you, man.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday,
Shefty.
All right.